I love salmon, but I really love honey buttered garlic salmon. It's a recipe I've made a bunch of in the past, and this particular salmon honestly really caught my eye. King salmon, feeling a little bougie tonight for dinner. Splurged a little, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna make it with some white rice. I'm also gonna show you a little trick how I make my white rice. I'm using an Instant Pot, which I got behind me. If you're using a little rice cooker or you're making it on a pot on a stovetop, you can use the same trick. It applies, I was gonna say worldwide, it applies across the board. So we're gonna make sure to salt and pepper all sides of the salmon. Not too crazy, but kind of liberally with it. Hit it with some black pepper as well. Soak up any of that on the side. We'll set the salmon in the fridge for about 20-30 minutes or so while we make our marinade or glaze. Now we're going to be making our honey garlic glaze. So I'm using lemon. You can use an orange. Orange actually tastes really good too. I don't have one. I'm going to use a few garlic cloves. I've got about a pound of salmon, so this is the amount I'm using. I'm going to cut off a little piece of this ginger and use it as well. I think that'll really add a nice flavor to it. I'm using some honey, obviously. I'm using some soy sauce, some rice vinegar. If you have mirin, use that instead. I'm going to use a little spoonful or so of brown sugar. And then I've got my parsley, which I've got under wraps. Also, this is a really good way to store fresh herbs, by the way. You just tent it with the bag that you'll get from the grocery store, and it'll keep like a week longer minimum. Science. Crazy, right? So we're gonna get our little marinade glaze kind of thing going in here. We're going to use, I'm gonna use a whole lemon. Yeah, that should do it. Like I said, I got a pound of salmon. Probably just over a pound of salmon, honestly. This lemon juice is going to do wonders because how we're going to be doing this, by the way, we're going to sear off our salmon and then we're going to add in this mixture after it has a nice little, after it has a nice little sear on it, because it'll deglaze the pan a bit and it's going to get, it's going to cook the salmon really nice. You'll see. I don't want to spoil the surprise of it, but it's very exciting stuff. So we're going to do all of our liquids first, just so all of our other stuff has some time to mix and get married together. Throw in our rice vinegar. Stuff's amazing. Probably say that every time I do this in a video, but it really is. It smells so good. It makes me crave sake every time. It smells like sake. It's probably similar ingredients. I don't know. Yeah, I guess so, right? Because isn't sake rice wine, essentially? You could use sake in this recipe, actually, also. That's super good. So we're gonna add in just a little bit of brown sugar. Not too much, just a little, enough to give a flavor. And we're going to grate in our garlic next. You can obviously mince your garlic into this as well, but I think grating it gives it a much stronger flavor, which is what we really want. Now, I like to go overboard on garlic for mine. If you're using a pound of salmon, feel free to just use 1 garlic clove. I like to overkill it with 3. But that's just me. So we've got all this nice garlic that's ground up. It's kind of like a paste, basically. It's gonna be super flavorful. It smells delicious already, actually. Woohoo! Oh yeah, that's good stuff. Okay, next we're gonna throw in some ginger. Now, what I like to do with ginger, before you cut it, to make it a little easier on yourself, take a spoon and peel it with the spoon. It's way easier than using a knife. See how easy that comes off right there? Show you a close-up. Just use that spoon and it comes right off. It's super easy. If you were to try to do this with a knife, it's a total pain in the ass. It just doesn't work that effectively. So we're going to peel off a little bit. Slice the little nasty end off. Push that to the side. And, you know, since I'm going to grate it, I'm going to cut off more than I'll use so I have kind of a handle. Oh, well, duh, I should have left it on so I'd have a bigger handle. That was stupid. Okay, if you did what I just did, just peel the top and then use this as the handle. That's what I meant to do, but I don't know. Got distracted, you know. Cooking while filming, I'm still figuring it out. But we're gonna grate this ginger into here. And I'm probably gonna use about like half of this or so. Maybe 3/4 of it. We'll see when I start hitting my finger. Fresh ginger is something that you might not always have in your fridge. I recommend you do because it's very versatile. You can mix it into different veggies. You can mix it into your rice. You can mix it into different meat marinades. It's super good and super good for you too. Throw it in, like if you take tea in the morning, throw some in your tea. Super tasty. Kind of looks the same as garlic, but obviously a much different flavor. Now we're gonna chop up a little bit of parsley. I'm not going too overkill with the parsley, just a little bit. If you have green onions or chives, definitely use those too. But this will make a nice little flavor, add a little hint of freshness to the whole thing. Just a rough chop, nothing too crazy. All right, now we've got our marinade or glaze, our sauce, whatever you want to call it. So many variations for one thing. It's kind of crazy. All right, so we're going to mix this up nicely. And as it's mixed up, it's going to be sitting in this liquid. The liquid's going to absorb all this ridiculously good smelling flavor. And this is going to be the glaze for the salmon. I'm going to take the salmon back out. Oh, look at that amazing king salmon. That's right, I'm bougie tonight. I don't care. So we're going to let this come up to room temperature. So for rice, I'm just using California white jasmine rice. I don't know, I like this brand though, it's pretty good. Now rice, it's pretty easy overall. I'm not even using an actual measurement instrument, you know, I'm just using a small glass bowl. So you'll see a lot of people have debates about this, strong debates on this, but typically for white rice, all we really need to do, we measure out an amount, then we're gonna fill up the same amount of water plus a little bit more. Some people do 1 1/4, some people do 1 1/2, some people do 1 to 2. For this specific Instapot that I'm using about 1 1/4 ratio of water to this cup of dry rice. But the most important little tip here is to wash your rice. Otherwise, it's just not gonna be the same. You gotta wash some of the starchy content off this rice. And we're gonna do that by basically washing it. So you're gonna pour your water into whatever container you're cooking it in. You're gonna kinda, almost like you're kneading dough, you're gonna kinda beat it up a bit. If you can see that water, it's super, super murky. So we're gonna keep draining the water off until it's no longer murky. That's really the biggest trick here. We're gonna keep doing it. Might take a few times or so, depending the brand or the type of white rice that you have. To be honest, I don't know the difference in types of white rice that would cause it to be more or less murky, but for some reason, it's just different. I don't exactly know why. Maybe it's the way they harvest the rice or something, or they package it. I'm not really sure. This brand usually takes me a few times to do this though. And really get in there, really beat it up, because what it's doing is it's taking that starch content off the white rice, and when it cooks, it's gonna be a lot fluffier because of it. So as you can see, it's already looking a lot less murky already, but we're still not there. It's starting to get pretty clear now. I'll show you what it looks like in a second here. It's pretty much done. But I remember specifically learning this trick when I cooked in the Coast Guard. I cooked with a lot of Filipinos, and they gave me shit, rightfully so, for not rinsing the rice before I cooked it one time. And ever since then, I've been doing it this way, and it definitely makes a difference. All right, so now you can see it's running out pretty damn clear right now, so we're good. You can leave a little bit of water left in it. Right now, it just looks like wet rice, I guess, wet dry rice, because that's what it is. So now I'm going to fill up this bowl that we used. I'm going to fill it up exactly the same amount as it was-ish. And then I'm going to fill it up maybe about a quarter or so past that. And now we should be good to go. I'm going to pop this in the Instapot. Now, if you're like me, if you're a human, you almost never get these damn things on right the first time, especially like a food processor, for instance. All right, so we got this sealed up here. We are going to set this. So this particular one, I need on pressure. I'm going to set it for 4 minutes. Now with the preheat plus the cook time, it takes like, I don't know, 10 to 12 minutes or something like that. And then this thing, the cool part is it'll just keep it warm in there afterwards, which is really nice. As our pan's heating up, make sure you have everything next to your pan, because it's going to be kind of a fast process once it gets going. We're going to throw in some avocado oil. We're going to get a nice little sear on our salmon. Then we're going to throw in some butter. Then we're going to throw in our little sauce. We're going to let it all mix together. We're going to start spooning it over the top of the salmon. and it's gonna be beautiful. I can't wait for you to see it. Now that our pan's getting pretty hot here, we're gonna add in some avocado oil. Make sure you got a nice layer that coats the entire bottom of the pan because we want to get a little sear on it. So I did a little too much oil. I'm just gonna dump a little out. All right, that should do the trick for us. We're gonna let it heat up a little, burn off that little initial first burn. So we're gonna throw this king salmon skin side down because we want that skin to get a little crisp on it. And we're gonna throw it away from us so you don't burn yourself. Now just let the pan and the oil do its job for a while. Don't check it constantly if you can help yourself. And remember, make sure you have your little sauce ready, you've got your butter ready to go, and you've got your basting spoon handy because this right here, this little guy, this is where the magic happens, which I can't wait for you to see. Oh yeah, grab a knife to cut your butter too, obviously. We want all set up because we don't want to burn our sauce or our salmon. So, if you can tell, it's slowly starting to cook up from the bottom. Really, the point of doing it skin down is for the skin to get a little bit crispy. Personally, I like to eat the skin. If you don't worry about it. You can even take the skin off before you cook it. No big deal. I'm going to take a little sneak peek and see how we're looking here. All right, so see how the skin is sticking to the bottom of the pan a little? That means we want to give it a little longer. If you got kind of a jacked up pan like me, just scoot your oil around so it's hitting everything. I think my pan's no longer totally flat, to be honest. I need to upgrade my cookware, probably. All right, I'm gonna try using a little spatula, see how we're looking. All right, that's looking pretty good. So I don't screw it up here. Oh yeah, screw it up a little, no big deal though. Best part of cooking, still gonna taste good, even though we screwed up just a little. No big deal. Now we're gonna let this top side get just a little sear on it as well for aesthetics, and it's just sealing that flavor a bit. Be extra tasty because of it. We're gonna give it a little look-see. All right, it's already got a nice little sear on it. We don't want to cook it too much. Not just yet, at least. Because this is where the special sauce happens. I'm going to throw in a couple tabs of butter. I'm going to add in 3 tabs of butter, actually, because we're wild like that. Make sure it gets all mixed in there. Oh, yeah. The smells amazing already. You gotta love butter, right? All right, now once the butter has melted, we're gonna throw in our beautiful sauce. And stir it up too, because some of that sugar and garlic and ginger is gonna be sitting on the bottom. And we wanna get it nice consistency before we throw it in. So we're gonna throw it in all around it. Oh yeah, that's good stuff. It smells amazing. Now, see how many bubbles are going off right now? This mixture is cooking down, especially because it's such a sweet, sugary mixture. It's going to start caramelizing. You're going to want to stir it around, and now we're going to want to start basting the salmon on top. So we're basically going to be spooning over the liquid, throwing it over top. We're going to tilt the pan and do it a little quicker. I'll show you. So once it's starting to settle down a little bit, we're going to, let's see how you can see this the best. We're going to scoot our salmon over a little bit. So see how it pools up on the bottom here? We're actually going to scoot our salmon back a little bit more. See how it pools on the bottom here? We're going to take all that beautiful mixture and we're going to baste it. Now that's getting hot enough, it's going to start actually cooking all of the salmon. And it's making that nice glazed salmon, which is the whole goal of this exercise here. We're going to keep on doing it until it's cooked to your desire. Now, fish, according to the FDA, should be cooked until 135. I'm going to aim to take this off a bit earlier, let it carry over, cook a bit. I mean, this was really good salmon, so I would eat this shit raw, to be completely honest. But we're going to cook it a little past raw for sure. This is getting really, really flavorful smelling in here. Flavorful smelling. I don't know if that's proper terminology. It's kind of an interesting way to say it. Oh my gosh, this is looking good. Now you see how it's got that nice glazed look to it? It's because we're crushing it right now, that's what. No, I'm just kidding. But no, it's coming out pretty good though. I'm pretty happy with this. I'm so excited for this dish. I'll be honest, one thing I wish I would have had instead of lemon was orange. We used to do that a lot, and really is tasty. I really enjoy that flavor. Maybe cilantro instead of parsley too. I don't know, you could have fun with it. You could use lime, you could use lemon, you could use orange, you could use cilantro, you could use parsley like I did. Have fun with it. Green onions, chives, whatever you're feeling. Now look at that glaze. I mean, that's just beautiful. It's textbook right there. I'm just kidding. I'm hyping myself up, all right? Let's take a closer look. I mean, that is just amazing. Incredible. Good work, Steve. Good job, buddy. You didn't burn it. Not yet, at least. Knock on wood. That's not wood, but that's okay. All right, let's see if I overhyped myself or not. We're going to temp it and see where we're sitting at here. So we're at 93, 95, 96, 97. All right, so we're going to go a little longer. I'm going to bring this up to about 115 or so, and I'd be pretty happy with that. So we're going to keep doing the base. And now you see how all this mixture is reducing, and that the cool part is about using the citrus. The important part about using the citrus is that it's going to deglaze the pan. So being that we put a sear on our salmon earlier, the lemon in this mixture, the sauce, help deglaze the pan. And that means it helps pick up all the little bits and that fattiness flavor from the salmon, and it pulls it into what we're doing right now. All right, I'm pretty happy with the amount this is cooked. I'm gonna turn off the heat to it. All right, we're gonna check out our rice real quick. So it's been warming for a little while. We gotta, oh yeah, that's right. I should probably vent it. Oh, I already did vent it, that's right. So, that's what I'm talking about. Ooh, that's fucking hot. Now that's some beautiful rice right there because we rinsed the white rice first. So murky water is bad, clear water is good. Remember that. For some fun extra credit, we're gonna make the rice look a little pretty. What we're going to do is stick it in a bowl. Any kind of bowl works for this. Whatever container you got. We're going to smush it down nice like this. Then we're going to grab a plate. See if I didn't screw it up. Come on, baby. Oh yeah, there we go. Now you got a beautiful looking rice right there. Plated rice, I guess we'll call it, because that's what it is. I'm super happy with how this came out. It got a really nice glaze, as you can see. And, oh, that's just, I mean, it's just dripping with goodness, as you can see. It's incredible. So freaking good. Literally just melts in your mouth. So, let's see how we're looking here. Ooh, that is just phenomenal looking. See how it just peels off right there? When you eat it, it's like eating freaking butter. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, subscribe to my channel. Please, you help me out a lot when you do.